Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 357. My name is Dan, and I shall be your host once again. Cheers to you all. Before we start off, if you do like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Hit the little thumbs up button and a little bell to be notified when I publish new content like this. So, another one of my revisiting forgotten bands. Now, I did an episode way back, sort of regarding Blue Murder, but it wasn't an in-depth one. It was just like, bands that I had that only made 2 albums, like one of those things. So we are going to talk about Blue Murder, and for all you vinyl freaks out there, a little surprise here regarding Blue Murder, regarding vinyl. So stick around here. So we will be talking about both albums here. So from Blue Murder, which is John Sykes on guitar, vocals, Carmine Appice on drums and background vocals, and Tony Franklin on fretless bass and background vocals also. Now, let's go back in time a little bit here as to how I discovered this band and how I was not aware of what I had in my hands, okay? So I remember, well, first of all, there was this poster with the blue and all that there in Metal Edge. It was a full page advert announcing this album. The only one I knew, okay, was this guy, Carmine Appice. And I probably saw him on in Metal Edge, probably in King Cobra or on Ozzy Osbourne's video for Bark at the Moon. He had a very recognizable face. Now, I had no idea who John Sykes was. I had no idea who Tony Franklin was, okay? Now, when I first got Blue Murder, it was a blind buy. I went just solely because it was a full-page advert, and I knew the face of Carmine Appice. And I did not know about the White Snake thing between John Sykes and David Coverdale, okay? I knew when I first heard about White Snake was Here I Go Again from the 87 album, okay? I did not know anything beyond that. So when I saw that post, I didn't get that this was a White Snake offshoot-ish, okay? I didn't know anything about this guy. I didn't know anything about Tony Franklin either. I probably had heard the name, The Firm, and that's about it. But, so I went and bought it just solely because of that. And, how do I explain this here? I did not like it. So I bought, just FYI, that first album, I bought it on cassette, sold it. I bought on CD. I'm not sure if I sold it or I probably kept it. And then I rebought that first CD on Rock Candy reissue. Then when I started collecting vinyl, I got that on vinyl. Now, I find that, again, maybe not knowing the backstory of who these guys were, when I first heard it, I was underwhelmed, okay? But I was a kid, I was a teenager, and that's my point is I find that this band is more for a mature mind. You're not going to find Cherry Pie like that's what the kind of bands I was into at the time. You're not going to find Cherry Pie or Oh All Night, like stuff like that on from this band here. It's a little bit more serious or more think all the song like John Sykes co-wrote a lot of the 87. Think of Still of the Night. It's not a singles song, but that's kind of what Blue Murder is. And funny enough, I even said to somebody, well, there's that one song that sounds like a White Snake song called Black Hearted Woman. Again, not knowing what I had in my hands. So after a while, I started, the internet was, this is a little bit after Napster. I'm talking about like Emule and LimeWire, where you can download videos and songs there. I was actually downloading videos, and I was asking my friends, get me, I'm gonna make us like these little DVDs where you can watch video. This is before YouTube again, or I don't know if YouTube existed at the time there, but these videos sure were not on YouTube. So I was making DVDs, and then I guess I was in the bees, and I typed Blue Murder, and I found a couple of videos, and I was like, I started watching the video for Valley of the Kings, and I was like, how did I not like this? Like, did was I missing a visual? Like, and then I'm listening to it on the album, like, yeah, it was there. Like, it's the third friggin' song. And I'm like, how the hell did I not like this at the time? I liked Riot, Jelly Roll. I liked the song Blue Murder, but anyway, it was an odd thing. So anyway, first album here. So you've got here, on here, John Sykes on lead guitar, Carmine Appice on drums, and Tony Franklin on the fretless bass. Well, let me tell you how after I got that DVD of the videos, that's what kind of changed my opinion of Blue Murder. And it's funny because even back in the MySpace days, I actually, and this was early internet, so there was no administrator. It was like basically that rock star, you were talking to that rock star. So I guess I friended Tony Franklin on MySpace because he replied back, and I told him, I says, look, I love your band Blue Murder now. At the time, it was promoted to teens like us who were buying like like I said, Cherry Pie, Warrant, Poison, Kiss, stuff like that. And I said this was a little too mature for me. And he's like, yeah, I totally get it. So that was kind of the conversation that I had with Tony Franklin. So let's go a few songs here. Riot, I've always, by the way, I'm going to say this. I love both albums equally, okay? There's 4 songs that I love off of this one, and 4 songs that I love off of this second one, and I'll tell you which ones they are. That's what I mean by I find them all equally both good. There's no bad songs on these albums, it's just some that are great, some that are good. So Riot would be one of those great ones, but I remember liking it, but thinking at the time, wait, my God, this is a little bit overproduced. That would probably be my little complaint about this here. Then you got Sex Child, which is a good song. It's not one of my favorite, but Riot is one that I find great. Sex Child, good, okay? Valley of the Kings to me is what you call one of those epic masterpieces. And I mean, the video does not do it justice because it's cut down so much to make it a video slash single. But man, oh man, do I love that song now. I never tire of sorry, hearing it. Then on to end side 1, we have I think Valley of the Kings was the first single, and then Jelly Roll was the second one. Jelly Roll is a great song. Starts off acoustic, and then and then at the end just goes into this epic guitar solo with a really cool, different chorus. So that's side 1. Jelly Roll is another song that I love. Same with Valley of the Kings and Riot. So that's 3 songs. Next up, we go to side 2. We have the song Blue Murder, which again I friggin' love. That's the 4 songs right there that I love. Out of Love is a good little ballad there. Again, not a bad song on here. Billy, another good song. I just find I saw a video. I love the bass playing on Billy. By the way, love the bass playing. It's good. And they play it. You can find it on YouTube. They play it live on some sort of talk show or something like that. There, I forget where it was. But yeah, it's like wow. Ptolemy. I didn't understand what that title means, and I had to go and look it up. I think it's a name of some guy like Socrates. Socrates, not Socrates. I'm friggin' doing Bill and Ted now. But like someone like that there, good song musically. Just I was actually joking about with my friends about like nobody, everybody said, talking about Blue Murder. Nobody goes Ptolemy, like they all like Jelly Roll or whatnot there or Riot or whatever. But still a good, like I said, a good song. And then ends with Black Hearted Woman, which is the song I found. Sounds like Whitesnake. Probably would have been my fifth favorite song off it. It's good, very good actually. Just not one of my favorites, but still very good. So anyway, now I bought this on vinyl. So I got this on vinyl. Now, so this came out in '89. Okay, now the next album, and this is where you vinyl addicts or whatever like me there, look what just popped in. So Blue Murder, Nothing But Trouble on Real Gone Music has been reissued finally on vinyl. Like this is one of those vinyls I was actually waiting for a very long time. If you're like my friend Steve from Rock and Metal Invasion, he's got the original, which he like. If you're searching on this for this album on Discogs, you're gonna pay at least, again, this is in Canadian dollars because that's how over 600. I've actually seen it for $1,000 once on Discogs, the vinyl. So I was extremely, extremely happy to find this on, or finally get this on vinyl. Thank you, Real Gone Music. More on Real Gone Music in a future episode if everything goes right. Okay, not gonna. But wow, friggin' again. And this album came out in 1993, so we're talking 4 years. Now, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. So the first album was a very, very minor very minor success. I think they were pretty popular in Japan, but here, I don't know if people were like me where they thought it was good, but it wasn't axed toward the proper market, if you ask me. It was on all over Metal Edge. Again, I didn't know who John Sykes was. I didn't know about that thing about Whitesnake. I didn't know now. I know now, obviously, there. But so when this album started recording, it was still Carmine Appice and Tony Franklin there. And this is the unfortunate part is, I guess John Sykes was maybe known to be taking his time a little too much with albums. And I mean, 4 years later is easy to be forgotten so I remember when this came out, my friend Pascal was like, "Oh my God, Danny, gonna get to Blue Murder?" I was like, "No." Like, to me, that was like, I wasn't, "Oh, apparently it's very good." I'm like, well, whatever. I got it eventually, but I got it a lot later in the game, like probably and I was like listening to it, I'm like, "Oh my God, this is actually very good too." So we'll go again song by song here. So it starts off with a great rocker, which I love, We All Fall Down. Oh, before we go song by song, this is a little, so Carmine Appice and Tony Franklin were still in the band. They were starting to record song, but then it was taking so long that I believe Carmine was the first to go, like, he's like, "Come on, I gotta make a paycheck here." I don't know. I guess John Sykes was living off Whitesnake's royalties anyway. Yeah, Carmine, I believe, was the first to go, but he's still on this album, okay? And Tony Franklin left a little bit later because it was just taking too much time. Nothing was happening, okay? So then he goes and recruits. So you got John Sykes here. I'll go. Now there are four. And this is, well, there are four. So this is John Sykes right here. Now you've got on bass Marco Mendoza, who was on, you probably saw him in Dead Daisies. This guy right here. Great bass player. I got no problem with the guy. I still prefer Tony Franklin there, his sound. Tommy Osteen on drums and background vocals. So I believe it's this guy right here. He's in the video, and I think This is Nick Green right here on keyboards. Okay, but there's also Kelly Keeling on background vocals, but he sings vocals on one song, which we'll listen. I'll tell you about later on there. But yeah, total new lineup, and I just found the inclusion of Kelly Keeling from Baton Rouge or Baton Rouge singing one song off the album. I was like, I just found it more confusing. But let's go. So it's on a 2 LP right here. Sounds great. This is I would say easily Real Gun Music's one of their better sounding albums. This sounds so loud and clear and powerful. Love it. Great job, guys. So yeah, side one, we have We All Fall Down, which starts off with a great rocker. There's a video for it. By the way, there's a video for Jelly Roll also, and on the Valley of the Kings, and there's also a video for Jelly Roll, if you're curious. But yeah, there's a video for We All Fall Down, and I was like, all right, who are these guys here? And you could see John Sykes, wearing he's wearing, it was a very popular look, the pirate look, I guess they're the Yngwie Malmsteen or Dio at the time. The pirate shirt like in Seinfeld there, that, but I don't want to be a pirate. Yeah, and the video for We All Fall Down, he's wearing this flannel shirt. Well, it was 1993, right? Then we have, I would say, Ichiku Park. It's a cover, that Ichiku Park. What I would have done, I find it's not at the right place. I would have put that song totally at the end as the last song. It starts off with a great song, then you have a subpar cover, and then you have my favorite, Cry of Love, which is like another epic song, like Valley of the Kings, but completely different, and it's so even proggy, I would say, at one time there. Love that song. So far I love We All Fall Down and Cry for Love. Love those two as much as any song off the first one. Then we have Runaway, which is good. There's no bad songs again here, there. Dance, that's the one that's, and I know how talented these bass players are, and I just can't foresee, or my brain cannot compute that one of these two, whether it was Tony Franklin on the record, or well, on that song, I mean there, Tony Franklin or Marco Mendoza, but it starts off do 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 do, like this one note, like what was popular at the time. I was like, that's a little too easy for that band. I just found that's my only beef with the song. Really, there, it's nothing, but it's a good song. I like Dance, actually. It's just I find it too easy. Feels too easy for this lineup or that lineup. Then you got I'm on Fire, which is the song has Kelly Keeling? Yeah, Kelly Keeling from Baton Rouge singing, which is a good song. I just find it's odd seeing him sing that song, because John Sykes has a great voice. Nothing against Kelly Keeling. I'm not saying, it just feels weird, okay? Then we have side 3, Save My Love, which is that the ballad there? Yeah, I think so. Well, mid-tempo-ish, whatever. Love Child is another good song, but Shouldn't Have Let You Go. Oh my God, do I freaking love that song. That's another one of those great songs off of that album. And I just found the structure very original, and I don't know. Nobody ever talks about that song. I friggin' love that song. It's a great. It's based on the vocals, not really. And see, this the thing is, I do hear some. So I think, no, I'm going to say that for the end, actually. Shouldn't Have Let You Go, another great song right there. That's one of my favorites. And same thing with the next one. I Need an Angel. What a powerful, emotional song. I friggin' love that song. And that's another epic song, about as long, almost as long as Cry of Love, maybe by, how much was it there? 6 minutes. Oh, actually, I got the timing right here. It is 7 minutes and two. Actually, it's longer by 11 seconds by Cry of Love. It doesn't feel as long. That's the thing. It just, I know, I Need an Angel as that fourth song that I friggin' love. And it ends with a, I find it ends the album well. Some people prefer, rockers. I usually do prefer a big speedy rocker to end an album. This is not that at all, but it's a great, She Knows is a great way to end the album. There's some different instrumentation. It's like probably my fifth favorite, like, Black Hearted Woman would have been here. So those are the two albums, but I'm letting you know, guys, if you check Real Gone Music, they now have this available on double vinyl. So if you're wanting this on vinyl, now is your chance. Check out Real Gone Music. Okay. Now, the lineup. Okay. This is where maybe some of you know this, maybe, but the original singer for this band was actually Ray Gillen from Badlands. He lasted not even a year, if I'm looking at the apparently Tony Martin was there for like half a second, if I'm looking at the chart, but John Sykes decided to take over the vocals after getting, having issue, or I don't know, I forget why Ray Gillen left or did not participate there. Also, the first drummer was not Carmine Appice, but it was actually Cozy Powell. He was there actually for a whole year, from 87 to 88. The album came out in 89 there. And I'll probably say I'm probably happy to have Carmine Appice, because again, he is the reason why I started buying Blue Murder. There was also, well, Nick Green, we have that. Kelly Keeling was there like a year and a half. Tony Franklin left, he was there until 1990, mid 1991. Then Marco Mendoza started in 1992 and until the end, I guess, there. Then the others, I don't really know the guys there, but yeah, a little bit of the original drummer was Cozy Powell, and the original, well, the vocalist that they wanted was Ray Gillen, which I know he's loved. I know Ray Gillen is loved a lot. Here's my problem with Ray Gillen. It has nothing to do with what he's done outside of work, if you know what I mean there. It's his voice. I find he's got a great range, okay? But he's one of those singers where I find he's a vowel singer, where all you hear is a little bit like James LaBrie. I mean, Ray Gillen is way better than James LaBrie. Don't get me wrong here, okay, guys? But I find Ray Gillen to be, all I hear is vowel. Sorry, he's a vowel singer, not a vocal singer. Vowel sing. All you hear with Ray Gillen is basically vowels coming out. So, but no, the words are not as clear, I find. Okay, this is just me there. But, yeah, that was the original lineup. Now, I did an episode when John Sykes had passed away, talked about Blue Murder also there. But I also mentioned, Thin Lizzy and Tigers of Pantang and whatnot, and Whitesnake. But yeah, I really wanted to do an episode on Blue Murder, one to, again, celebrate the life of John Sykes, and with he's got great riffs, like a great composer. Too bad he was very picky, I guess. I'm not sure there, but it was taking a long time in between albums. Like, that was the joke at one time, and now he's passed away, so I kind of feel bad doing those jokes there, but that was at one time. He was on that milk carton. Have you seen me? Like, it was one of those musicians that you wish had, or a band, wish that would have either reunited or done more. Because when I was talking with Tony Franklin on MySpace, there was actually a rumor that Blue Murder was going to reunite. There was pictures of them at like NAMM or something like that. There, where there all three of them are pictured. It was like it came close to maybe, but no, there was no reunion for that there. So again, I want to make sure that this band, you guys, one, know that there's now a vinyl of Nothing But Trouble. If you're searching on Discogs for the original, don't bother, go and get this one. This actually sounds great, okay? And yeah, I wish we had more music from this lineup, because again, I do find that this band was more axed towards an adult than a teen, that uh, it was trying to push towards to. And as a teen, I really didn't get it. It was too mature for me. I guess my brain was still talking about cherry pies, and I don't know why I keep using cherry, but it's a household name song. Cherry pie, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. How silly and juvenile it is, but effing catchy. I love cherry pie. I'm not dissing the song there, but you're not gonna find this on these two albums. And again, I wish I would have discovered these guys when I was a little bit older, I guess. Probably would have made a difference. I don't know. It's, coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? We'll never know. And now I wonder if Real Gone Music is, I mean, this was on my bucket list for so long to get this on a reissue and on vinyl. And when I got the email that this was coming out, I'm alone in front of my computer. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I literally talked out loud, and I don't usually do that there. I was like, oh my God, it's finally happened. So did they already have plans of releasing it? Because what, John Sykes passed away like half a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, around that. I don't know if that, but you know what? Something that I'll ask them one day there, if everything goes well. There you go. That's what I'm doing here, crossing my fingers. Anyway, yeah, it's probably, I would say, more likely than from either suggestions or celebrating his life with his passing away. Let's get this baby out there on vinyl. So thank you, Real Gone Music, for that. So that is my little episode on Blue Murder. I'm just curious to see, do you guys like this band? Don't care for it? Am I out in left field saying it was more axed towards adults than or teens, I should say? Did you hate it like I did as a teen, but love it now as an adult, or vice versa? I don't know. But it's one that took me a while to really, really appreciate it. And when I started really appreciating it, it was too late. So they had already disbanded. But anyway, that is my episode regarding Blue Murder. And well, there you go. Let me know in the comments what you think about this band here and these two albums. Did you know that Blue Murder was now released on vinyl? That's the big kicker right there. So on that note, thank you guys for watching, and we shall see you guys next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.